Harold Montgomery III sat in his luxurious office atop a New York skyscraper, holding a letter that had just turned his world upside down. His grandfather, a legendary oil tycoon and founder of Montgomery Oil, had left him an inheritance of $2.4 billion. But there was one condition: Harold would gain full control of the business only if he married a woman sincere and untouched by civilization. The lawyers just shrugged. The clause in the will was legally airtight. Harold laughed bitterly, frustrated, but something inside him stirred. His dating life had become a string of failures with women only interested in yachts, watches, and helicopters. A week later, Harold was aboard a private jet bound for the Congo. With him, a bodyguard, a translator, and a guide named Kobo, once a child of the Keturah tribe, now a fixer for eccentric travelers. Kobo had told him of a remote tribe that still lived according to ancient traditions, without electricity. "The women there are as pure as the earth," Kobo said as they bounced along a dirt road in a jeep. "But if you want a wife there, you'll have to earn respect. This isn't Tinder, Mr. Harold." On the 5th day of the journey, after a helicopter transfer and a long boat ride, they finally reached the village of Keturah. A narrow path led through the jungle to a clearing dotted with palm leaf huts. A group of dark-skinned children watched him with wary curiosity. "The chief will see you," Kobo said as an elderly man stepped from the brush. He wore a leopard skin cloak and carried a regal air. This was Nam, the tribal leader. Harold bowed politely and said through his translator, "I come in peace. I seek a sincere wife. And I'm ready to be tested." Nam stared into the outsider's eyes, silent for a moment, then rasped. "If you are a real man, we will find out. You must pass 3 trials. Only then may you ask for a woman of my people." A stir ran through the tribe. Some laughed, others whispered. A white man wanting to join their world. It sounded like legend. But Harold stood tall, eyes locked with the chief's. "I agree," he said. He had no idea that ahead lay a night in the jungle, spirit dances, poachers, and a girl named Anaya who would change him forever. The sun rose over the jungle as Harold awoke on a bamboo mat inside a leaf-woven hut. He'd barely slept, his body long used to heated mattresses, not mats on dirt. Kobo greeted him, grinning. "The chief is waiting." The village had gathered in a circle. Children sat cross-legged, elders formed a half-ring, and women in beaded, feathered garb watched him keenly. Some whispered. To them, he was a spectacle unseen for generations. Nam rose and said, "The white man wishes to be part of our world. But before he may speak to one of our women, he must face 3 trials: survival, spirit, and heart. Today, the first." Harold swallowed. "No turning back now. Tonight, you will spend the night alone in the jungle. No weapons. No guide. Only with an amulet to protect you from evil spirits. Survive, and you earn your next trial." He was handed a small bonan leaf amulet on a leather cord. He eyed it skeptically, then wore it. That afternoon, they led him to the jungle's edge. No words. Just the forest swallowing him. Night fell. Insects buzzed, something howled. He tried to light a fire, but the wood was wet. Shivering under his coat, heart pounding, he heard a rustle. Eyes. Black, staring from the trees. He thought it was a lion. But it was a girl. "Don't be afraid," she whispered in accented English. Where did you come from?" "I'm from the tribe." "You might have been killed," she said, sitting before him. "But I stopped it." "Are you a shaman?" "No. I just know this forest better than you know your money." They talked. Her name was Anaya. She spoke English. She'd once lived in the city, but came back. "Civilization eats your soul," she said. By dawn, she was gone. Harold wasn't sure she'd been real. But he had survived. Returning to the village, the tribe was silent. Nam touched his amulet. It protected you. Or maybe, something else did. Harold said nothing. But in his mind, one question echoed, who was Anaya? And why had she saved his life? The night in the jungle had changed Harold. He returned scratched, bitten, exhausted, but with eyes stripped of arrogance. The tribe didn't need words. They watched how he walked. How he breathed. Nam nodded. First trial, passed. Next is the trial of spirit, he said. Tonight you'll join our ritual dance, where we summon our ancestors. But beware, the spirits reveal truth. And not all truth is welcome. The village square turned festive. Women hung feathers and flowers, shamans painted faces with white clay. Smoke and bitter herbs filled the air. Under a full moon, Harold stood in the center. A shaman gave him a wooden bowl. This is chama, the drink of the ancestors, the translator said. Drink. And dance. The bitterness burned his throat. Drums pulsed. His feet moved, first unsure, then wildly. Sweat poured. His heart raced. The world shifted. He wasn't in the village anymore. He stood among skyscrapers, champagne in hand, surrounded by fake smiles. But he was alone. His grandfather's voice echoed. You built your life around shine. But shine doesn't warm the heart. Visions flashed. Anaya, laughing on a riverbank. Then swept away by waves. He ran to her, screaming, but could not save her. Next, himself, old and alone in a silent mansion. Money everywhere, but no warmth. He screamed. Warm hands grabbed him, a woman's hands. He opened his eyes. Anaya stood before him. You've seen who you are, she whispered. But who do you want to become? He awoke slowly. The dance was over. He lay on the ground, trembling. He saw Anaya near the fire. She looked at him differently now. Why did you come again? He asked. To see if you're still the man who asked about Wi-Fi in the jungle, she said. I don't know who I am anymore, he admitted. But for once. I want to find out. She smiled and walked away. Slowly this time. The morning after the ritual, Harold felt like his mind was wrapped in fog, but his heart was clear. He'd gone further than he ever thought possible. The tribe gathered under a giant baobab tree. Nam spoke. You faced the jungle. You faced the spirits. But the last trial is the most important. You must find the heart of the tribe. What is it? Harold asked. Not an object. A symbol. A stone artifact in our sacred cave. It guards our past and future. Only one truly worthy may touch it. Do I go alone? No, Nam looked to the shadows. She'll guide you. Anaya stepped forward. Her eyes were serious now. No mockery, just silence. They began at dawn, hiking through thickets and swamps. She moved like a shadow, Harold staggered behind, scratched and breathless. You always this quiet? He asked at a stream. I listen. You still have too much noise in your head. I'm changing. I see that. But will it be enough? Before the cave, she raised a hand. Stop, she whispered. Two men emerged, rifles in hand. Not from the tribe. Hunters. Poachers. White man, one sneered. Worth money. And the girl, even more. Harold clenched his fists. No weapons. Only instinct. One reached for Anaya, Harold lunged. The fight was raw, violent. He took a blow to the head, but kept fighting until the poachers fled. He lay on the ground, bloodied but alive. Anaya leaned over him. You fool, she whispered. But now I know, you're not a stranger anymore. They entered the cave. Glowing fireflies lit the walls. In the center, a cracked stone heart. Touch it, she said. Harold reached out. He didn't tremble. When his fingers touched the stone, the air changed, as if the earth itself exhaled. They left in silence. But this time, Anaya walked beside him. In the village, cheers erupted. Harold stood before Nam, bruised but upright. I found the heart of the tribe. And have you found your own? The chief asked. Harold didn't answer. He just looked at Anaya. She touched his arm, barely, and he understood, the answer was already there. Harold lay on a wooden bench, shoulder bandaged with jungle herbs. Outside the hut, Anaya argued with Nam. He's not one of us. The spirits accepted him. The heart did not reject him. He'll leave. Return to his world. And if he doesn't? Silence. Harold heard it all. But for once, he felt no need to fight for approval. He simply existed. That evening, the village gathered. By tradition, Harold could now choose any woman in the tribe as his wife. Everyone waited. Even Anaya. Nam approached him. You may choose. But remember, this choice isn't just about you. It's about her. Harold stood. I don't want to take a wife. I want her to choose me. A stir ran through the people. This was new. Anaya's expression shifted, no anger now, only stillness. Later, alone, she said. You could go home. Take your billions. Build a dozen tribes out of glass. I know. But no one there saved me from lions. No one taught me silence. No one looked at me like you do. You won't last here. I'll try. Or I'll stay a stranger forever. What about your business? I gave it to my cousin. He always wanted power. I'm done with it. She stood still, then touched his shoulder. If you stay, I'll teach you to dance with the rain. But don't think I've chosen you. I'm patient. We'll see. The next day, the tribe prepared a wedding unlike any in years. Harold sat by the fire, women weaving a feathered headdress, men singing ancestral songs. He didn't know if Anaya would say yes. But the sun had not yet risen. That didn't scare him. The entire tribe was already awake. That evening, she approached, today was the wedding day. Flower. In Kituru, this is Imba. A wedding is not just a union of two hearts. It's the merging of spirits, yes, traditions, and the future. You may try. Harold stood by the riverbank, and he smiled, dressed in tribal garments, a hand-woven belt, a necklace of wood and white stones, and on his head, a crown made of the feathers of the turuko bird, symbol of new beginnings. His heart beat quietly, calmly. And that surprised him. In his past life, every public speech, every deal, meant nerves, fear of failure, a mask. But here, he was himself. For the first time. Across the clearing, Anaya appeared. Her dress was woven from fine grasses, her body adorned with patterns of white pigment. She walked with confidence, calmly, but in her eyes was a fire. Not passion. Strength. The shaman declared their union, scattering petals and ash over their hands. The whole tribe began to sing. The drums pounded like the heartbeat of the earth. Harold took Anaya's hand. She didn't smile. But she didn't let go. During the feast, as everyone danced, laughed, and drank brews made from the matri, Kobo, his guide, approached with unexpected news. People from the city have arrived in the village. They're looking for you. From the corporation. A helicopter landed. Harold sighed. They're too late. They say you have to sign some documents. The board of directors wants your decision. Anaya, overhearing, walked over. It's not too late to run, she said. I'm not running. I'm just leaving behind what no longer belongs to me. The next morning, Harold stepped out of the hut. A helicopter hovered in the sky. Two men in suits stood at the edge of the village. One was his lawyer. The other, a shark-eyed executive Harold himself had once hired. "Mr. Montgomery, we need to know, are you stepping away from the company or returning? You still have influence. We can reschedule the board, fix everything. Just say the word." Harold walked up to them. He looked at the papers. Then at the sky. Then back, at the village, where Anaya was teaching children to braid ropes. "You can leave the documents. I'll sign them. But I'm leaving everything. For good." "Are you serious?" "Entirely. This isn't civilization, Mr. Montgomery. This is, the jungle. Exactly why I'm staying." He turned and walked away, leaving the men alone. The helicopter lifted off minutes later, kicking up dust and dry leaves. Days passed. Life in the tribe settled into its natural rhythm. Harold learned to catch fish, helped repair huts, and for the first time, began falling asleep without thoughts of profits, deals, or morning meetings. Anaya sat beside him by the river, quietly weaving grass. "Do you still think about that helicopter?" "Sometimes. But only as a memory. Not a temptation." "Then maybe. I've truly chosen you. So was that a wedding, or not yet?" She laughed. For the first time, genuinely. The